One of my favorite biblical characters, this Jacob, after he had spent decades in this faraway land, the source came to him and says, it's time for you to return back to the land where you came from. And he's returning with this whole community. He'd become a wealthy man in these decades that he'd been away. But on this crucial night, he sent everyone, including his wives, his concubines, off to the other side of the river. He was alone because his brother Esau was waiting to meet Jacob. And from Jacob's messengers that he sent out, they came back with a story that Esau's got a whole army, I think, of 400 men. And Jacob had stolen Esau's birthright. That's why he became a fugitive in the first place. So now God had finally commanded him, go back. But Jacob was still full of fear, so he had this night where he had to gather himself to prepare for whatever was awaiting him the next day. How his brother would receive him. And on this pivotal night, where he's all alone there on the riverbank, a mysterious stranger suddenly appears. And again, this abruptness is part of the drama of the Holy Spirit. And this mysterious stranger, of course, is the Spirit in human form. And this wrestling match ensues between Jacob and the source. It marks a dramatic, extraordinary, sudden promotion, an initiation. Jacob was being promoted from being this fugitive, the supplanter, which is what the name Jacob means, his promotion from that into Israel, which translates into contender with God. Because the culmination of this wrestling match, they wrestled till dawn, and the stranger finally says, let me go. The sun's about to rise. I have to go. Jacob says, I'm not letting you go until I get your blessing. So this took a lot of chutzpah on Jacob's part, because by now he knew he was not wrestling with any ordinary man. He knew he was wrestling with God. And then the stranger says, what's your name? He says, my name's Jacob. The angel, the Spirit, says, oh, by the way, your name's not Jacob anymore. Your name is Israel. And Israel translates into contender with God. In other words, he had promoted himself into this, from this trickster, this ordinary kind of shady character, this fugitive, by holding his own through this all-night wrestling match, and then, most important, by having the chutzpah to demand the blessing of the source before I let you go. Now, takes a special person to start making these kinds of demands when you're face to face with the source in human form. In this wrestling, there was a union, a fusion between this mortal, ordinary man, Jacob, and this superhuman, extraordinary, mysterious stranger. Jacob, now Israel, fulfilled his destiny as a shaman. And specifically in this case, now he realized he was going back to his homeland to assume the mantle of his grandfather Abraham and his father Isaac, the patriarch of the nation Israel, assuming his destiny as the source's partner, the source's co-creator. So as shamans, we are all contenders. We are all partners. We are all co-creators with this infinite, vast waterfall, wildfire of supernatural power